Coming off the back of one of gaming's best years ever, 2024 has a lot to live up to when compared to 2023. It promises to be a much quieter affair this year, but despite the lack of confirmed releases that we've got so far, there are still a few games that I'm definitely looking forward to. In no particular order, let's go through 5 of my most anticipated games of 2024. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, coming out February 29th, 2024, as far as we're aware, a leap year, and it's probably my most anticipated game of the year. I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, so I'm very interested in seeing what Square Enix can do with this second entry into their remake series of Final Fantasy VII. Square Enix's decision to add uncertainty to where the story is going to go and potential changes, major changes from the original, have only increased my interest in witnessing the direction they take, basically. And I can't wait to hop back in as Cloud and the other characters. Sephiroth's in this a lot more as well, and seeing how this entry has evolved from the last. Of course, I expect there's going to be a lot of changes with the remake. I've heard the side content takes up a good chunk of this game, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. Sometimes that's not a good thing, but I'm confident they can deliver a solid game with this second entry. Next up on my most anticipated list is Persona 3 Reload. It's coming out February 2nd, and as a Persona 4 and 5 fan, very much 5 was one of my favourite games in recent memories. Of course, I love 4 as well, but 5 and Royal just blew me away, and yeah, they're two of my favourite games ever. 3 Reload is just very high on my list, and I've never had the chance to play the original. I'll most likely go back and play the original at some point, but this is just a great jumping on point for me and for many others. I'd also recommend, if you've never played a Persona game, to play 5, or well, I'd say play Royal. Definitely play Royal over 5. It's just a great re-release of that game. But yeah, just this series is fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. The trailer looked really fun and looked like more of what made Persona 4 and 5 great. I know 3 originally has different versions, people prefer certain things from those versions, but hopefully this brings together a lot of what people loved. I get to experience that for the first time, and I'm very excited. After this on my list is a controversial one, also coming out on the same day as Persona. It's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, you might be wondering, why is this on my most anticipated list? I found this list very hard to make, sure, but I'm really interested in this game out of a sort of morbid curiosity. I want to know if it's good or if it's just abysmal, because it could go either way. Now, there was a closed alpha recently, and the game did get decent feedback from that, but I'm not gonna look too deeply into that. You know, a lot of people say what they want to say just so they can keep getting access to certain things, but I am someone who will wait and see. There's been things that have been said about this game that I've actually been interested in, then I've seen some gameplay that I've kind of hated, and it's just gone back and forth. Again, most anticipated, I might be pushing it there, but it's certainly one of the games that I know is coming out this year that I've got my eyes on. Whether it's good or bad, I want to know. And yeah, it's also, at the very least, it'll be good to experience Kevin Conroy's last hurrah as Batman. Of course, the greatest voice actor for Batman, the greatest actor for Batman, one of the greatest voice actors ever. That's the main reason. The game's release is at a really bad time though. Like I said, it comes out at the same time as Persona 3, and a few weeks later, there comes Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'll be watching closely regardless, and that's why I'm anticipating it. Next on my list, coming out March 22nd, I know there's a lot of this in the first half of the year, but That's all we really know so far, and that is Dragon's Dogma 2. This is an interesting one for me because before the recent Capcom showcase, I had no interest in this game. I didn't even know it existed, this series existed. I did know, that's a lie, but I took no account of it, like, I knew nothing about it. And yeah, like I said, I've never played the original, which will be on my agenda. I will be adding it to the backlog, the massive backlog at this point, before I end up picking up this one. But the trailer just was incredible, and Capcom have been in such top form as of late. They're a company that I'm always looking at and seeing, okay, what have they got coming up, and this is one of their biggest games ever, so I'm excited to see how this turns out. And yeah, this is possibly another RPG to sink my teeth into. I love the sort of fantasy elements, and there's no denying this is a game that I could love if it reaches the standard that I saw in that trailer. Alright, last on my list is one some people will get, some people won't, but it's The Wolf Among Us 2 from Telltale, and this doesn't have a release date. As far as we're aware, it's still coming out in 2024. It may get delayed. It's still on my list. I do have a few other mentions that I will say later on, but this is my top 5, and The Wolf Among Us I've been waiting for years at this point. The original was one of Telltale's best series. I'm a massive fan of the Fables comics. I have them all sitting on my shelf looking at them right now. Yeah, this game's been on my radar for years at this point, since Telltale went bust and then got bought back. You know, it's been that one game I've wanted to come back, along with Tales from the Borderlands, that obviously didn't go to Telltale. I have certain opinions about that game, but this isn't for that. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they take Bigby's story and what else they do with this game. There's not much to add. We don't really know much at all about this game other than its continuation of The Wolf Among Us. So yeah, those are my 5 games that I'm looking forward to the most in 2024. Of course, that could easily change as the year goes on. We've got loads of things coming out, potentially, that haven't even been announced yet. And there's also a few games that I guess this could be an honourable mentions, such as Little Nightmares 3. I love the first one, I love the second one. I'm interested to see where they go with the third one. Pretty sure it's a different dev team, but I'm still optimistic that they can deliver. And also Black Myth Wukong, I believe that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I butchered it. I just don't know enough about the game to say I'm as hyped as I would be. With something like Dragon's Dogma though, there was just a lot more for me to grab onto, you know. It's just, this is an existing series and that's why it gained my interest more, I guess. But between the two, I kinda struggled to pick which one I wanted on my list. Of course, none of the list is in order. I did say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my most anticipated, and I'll stick with that, of course. But yeah, there's a lot of little games that I'm forgetting as well that I'd want to add to this list. But after the year we just had, 2024 just feels like a calmer, just more chilled change of pace that is sorely needed. I still need time to digest all the games that came out in the back half of the year, such as Baldur's Gate 3, which I still haven't finished. Just let me know in the comments if there are any games on my list that you agree with being one of your most anticipated. If there's any games that are missing that you think should be on my list, or not should be on my list, but I should be looking out for, and that are on your list. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's really helping our channel grow. Of course, we're still a small channel. We do this for fun, and seeing people enjoy our content or discussing our content really encourages us to continue on with what we're doing. Hope everyone has a good new year. If you're watching this in the new year, hope you had one, and we will see you next time.